2021 is coming to a close, and with it, there's plenty of reasons to celebrate with all of the huge milestones that have been accomplished this year. But you know what's even more exciting than that? Everything else that's coming out in 2022. I cannot wait to see it all. Let's take a look together in the weekly report. Welcome back to Woodland Pools, your place for the latest Cardano news, tutorials, and the information you need to grow your investment with confidence. Today's time for a special weekly report. 2021 by far has been the most exciting and productive year for the entire Cardano ecosystem, and 2022 promises to be even greater than that. So why don't we take a look at where we've been, and then let's take a look at what comes next. Let's jump in. Since this is our last video of the year, I wanted to make sure that we paused at the very beginning to say a huge thank you so much to our over 500 delegators to the ASPEN stake pool. I know we say this a lot, but I mean it every time that I say it. We truly appreciate your support, and we are so excited to be on this journey with all of you. Every time we see a new delegator come in, it warms our heart every time, and it's just been an amazing year of shared learnings both ways. Can't wait to see what we do together next. Let's keep growing together. So the end of the year falling on a Friday means we can sneak in on our last Thursday, the December 2021 year-end edition of Cardano 360. We'll link the full video down below, but the part that we wanted to share with you right now today is this really great clip that they have at the beginning of some of the stats of the major milestones that have been hit over 2021, which we think sets some really great perspective as we talk about what have we done and what comes next. Let's take a look together.
We'll start off where we always do, with research. We've had 36 research papers accepted and presented at leading conferences, with 8 of those specifically created for Cardano. Our work remains the most cited in the space, so if you want to take a more scientific look into the papers that underpin Cardano development, head over to our research repo where you'll find over 100 of them. And what of the code itself? Well, we've consistently led the industry in the volume of our output. We've had 106 releases on public repos with over 38,000 GitHub commits. Meanwhile, we've got 67 active public repos, which still keeps Cardano as the most active project to date. And remember, that's just core work. With community tools, scripts, and APIs, and a fast expanding dApp ecosystem, there are hundreds more repos out there, steadily filling with code from every corner of the community. This year we also updated and delivered hundreds of pages of release notes and documentation via Cardano docs, packed full of information for everyone building out the ecosystem. And this year, our Plutus Pioneer and Atala Prism Pioneer programs have educated thousands of future Cardano developers. And all that groundwork is paying off, because to date we've had over 2 million native tokens minted on the Cardano blockchain by you, the community. And as Cardano grows, so does IOG. We've hired 152 new employees this year, and we're now working entirely remotely across 37 different countries. Speaking of which, Charles and a small group from the company recently completed a tour of 6 nations across Africa. We shared the news that we're planning to onboard 33 million active users by the end of the second quarter of 2022. On top of that, we'll have 6 million verifiable decentralized IDs logged on our education platform in Ethiopia. And talking of wallets, in December we reached a goal of 2 million total Cardano wallets. That's up from 1 million in May this year. Over 70% of ADA continues to be staked via more than 1 million staking wallets handled by nearly 3,000 stake pools. With hundreds of thousands of transactions every day, a number set to grow exponentially as the first DEXs and dApps start to come online.
So some really impressive stats there, but the one that jumped out to me at least that I thought was just incredible for us to keep in mind is that here in December, we just hit 2 million total Cardano wallets, which if you look at network transactions and things, that's about 1 million active users. And so think about how big the Cardano ecosystem already feels with 1 million active users and 2 million total wallets. And then they just kind of threw this in there that the plan is by Q2 to have 33 million active users between all these different partnerships that they're spinning up. I can't even imagine what a 33x is going to look like by halfway through next year. So if we look at some on-chain stats, it actually further reinforces just how far we've come. We can see the utilization of the network dramatically increasing over the past year. About a year ago, we were right about here, and we can see that we were doing about 30 to 40,000 transactions per day. And at its peak a couple of months ago, we had over 1.5 million transactions going on. Really, really encouraging to see this growing. And if you remember, if we think back all the way to about March, when multi-asset first came out, let's take a look at native assets per day and look at this exponential graph here. So here's the launch of native assets, including the ability to mint NFTs, and then just an exponential spike with no looking back. It's unreal to see visualized like this. The first and most popular NFT that got everyone excited, obviously, was the launch of Space Buds, with over 10,000 unique Space Buds that were launched. And that's what really got everybody excited and thinking. But now we have full-fledged CNFT marketplaces with hundreds of projects to choose from. It's amazing to see how this has been building out. But the activity and transactions goes far beyond NFTs. If we look at Cardano Cube, there are over 100 projects that are building out right now. We'll link this below so you can check some of them out yourself, but it is unbelievable to see how much has sprung up just since March when we launched the ability to have multi-asset, and then in September with the Alonzo era and smart contracts. All of this has been happening just in the past year. Can you imagine where we'll be a year from now? We talked about nft-maker earlier this year, and now they've gone full pro, and there's so many projects to support with minting NFTs. They have a pro interface to help people launch huge NFT collections. But if you still want to be able to do your own NFT and do one or two for fun, you can click on the top right and see their version 1, and you can go and see the same site that we used in our tutorial where you can mint and send your own personal NFTs if you'd like to do that. With the NFT marketplaces in full stride, the next thing that we're obviously all thinking about now that Alonzo era has come and we're in the smart contract era is all the different dApps and DeFi that's coming around the corner. And we just had an announcement of the Cardano DeFi Alliance and their goal of, instead of all of these DEXs competing against each other, how can they come up with shared standards and shared best practices that they can all build out and grow and learn from together. Really fantastic idea, and pleasantly not surprising at all with how helpful and how just positive the entire Cardano ecosystem has shown to be month after month, year after year. Charles actually put out a video commenting on the DeFi Alliance and how the plan for IOHK is to have multiple mini summits throughout the year. And the first one will be a mini DEX summit where all of those teams are going to be invited, and Charles is going to attend as well. We'll link this down below. And speaking of DEXs, when we think back on the year, once again, credit being due to MuesliSwap, the first Cardano DEX to go live. And as we look forward with them, new features that weren't available when we did our tutorial video just a week ago. One of the specific things we called out was the fact that there wasn't charting, and that has now been added. So as you're coming and doing your swaps, you can actually see the historical price of the tokens that you're swapping. Really, really cool, and just another example of how these things are just getting started, and there's so much more to them, and we can't wait to see how it goes. Continuing looking forward about exciting news with DEXs, SundaeSwap team, as we mentioned in our previous video, was waiting on the completion of their audit by runtime verification of all of their code before they went to mainnet, and as of just a couple of days ago, they announced that they are pleased to announce that the audit has been completed on the SundaeSwap protocol. So congratulations and huge news for the SundaeSwap team. This brings us one step closer to the mainnet launch, which should be happening sometime in the next month or so. And then along those lines, when we look at all the things that SundaeSwap has done right, the biggest complaint the community had was in the way that they're doing their ISO and how they chose to distribute the tokens and how it seemed to be centralizing people to the top 30 pools that made the cut. In an attempt to solve this problem and just really simplify the whole process, there's a really exciting project that will undoubtedly be the first project of 2022 because they are going live immediately after midnight on New Year's Eve, and that is DripDropz. So DripDropz is a really exciting project that what they're going to do is any new project that has plans to be able to distribute tokens to different people for ISOs or any other reason, they can use the DripDropz platform, and then anybody who wants to redeem tokens just comes to the site and uses the faucet. They actually put out a video on what this process is going to look like. We just want to show you a little bit of it to see how easy it's going to be to distribute tokens. Instead of having to do some kind of like a centralized pool model, you can just utilize DripDropz and send them out to as few or as many people as you would like. Check out how easy this is. You'll come to their site, you paste your address, you say, which drops am I eligible for? And then all of the ones that you're eligible for from any drops of any kind, you just check the ones that you want to get. You scroll down and say, claim my drops. Then from there, you just send 3 ADA to this address. They send you back all of your tokens with a balance of about 1.4 ADA. And then you just get all of your tokens that you were eligible for from the different projects that you're interested in. Really, really exciting, really straightforward. Great idea, and mad props to the DripDropz team. This is going to be a game changer in terms of how tokens are distributed. Super exciting stuff. And now the other cool thing that they're doing as a promotion for the launch of their site is if you do a referral code to each other, each person will get 100 drip tokens. So what we'll do is as soon as the site goes live, right after midnight on New Year's Eve, UTC, we'll post below in a pinned comment and in the descriptions our referral code for DripDropz. You click on the link, it'll take you to create an account. It's totally free to create an account, which you're going to want to have to be able to claim your tokens through these different projects. And for clicking on our referral link, you'll get 100 drip tokens for free just for clicking on the link. Really, really cool stuff. Can't wait to see this project built out. As we continue looking back on the past year, a couple of weeks ago, we talked about adaHandle and making this whole process to get mass adoption much easier with being able to have an alias instead of a really long address. We're still waiting on the main sale to open up, but again, that should happen in early 2022. Can't wait to get our hands on a few adaHandles for ourselves. Really cool stuff. And if all of those things weren't enough, there was a fantastic write-up that was put together by someone here on Reddit going over all the stuff that has happened and what's coming up next. We just talked about a bunch of these, but some of the other ones we've talked about in the past that are going to be absolute game changers is Hydra for layer 2 scalability, Mithril to be able to have light wallets that are just as resilient as the full-fledged full nodes like Daedalus, side chains, the rollout of everything going on in Africa. It's just so much. I cannot wait to see where we're at when we do our recap 1 year from now. And so to finish up, we wanted to end in the same way that we started and say thank you so much to everyone that's been on this journey with us. We started the ASPEN stake pool about a year ago, and we started the Woodland Pools channel on YouTube about 10 months ago in February. Our goal when we started it was, hey, we've been around this crazy crypto ecosystem for several years now. Why don't we try and distill some of this knowledge and some of the things that we've had to learn the hard way and share it with people so we can all keep growing together. It's been an incredible journey of learnings both ways. If you've been following the channel this year and you found it useful, but you haven't yet delegated, we'd truly appreciate your delegation. It goes a long way to supporting us and supporting the channel. So hey, let's all keep sharing information with each other. Let's all keep growing together. Thank you all so much. We can't wait to see what comes next. And if nothing else, we'll see you next year.